Hello and welcome to another review video. Today I'm going to be looking at Vantrue's latest front and rear 2-channel dashcam, the Element 2 or E2. This was kindly sent to me by Vantrue. Both front and rear are 2592p by 944p, which is just above Quad HD. It's £200 or £220 on Amazon, depending on if it's on offer or not. However, if you use my code E2OFF K9DS, you will get an extra £20 off. If it's anything like the E2, this will be amazing. Let's get into it. So let's see what's inside the camera. So first of all, there's a little tab that needs pulling here, like so. So again, like the previous one, we've got a little diagram that tells and shows you everything. And then underneath there's various different things, including the camera itself. So first things first, we have the actual front camera unit here, which is rather nice looking, bit bigger than the E1, Element 1, but yeah, still relatively small sort of little camera. Looks nice. Next is the little remote that again we had with the E1. Next we have this box, and inside this box we have, first of all we have the computer cable so you can connect the camera to the computer. Then we have the camera's power cable for the car with the socket at the end. We have a trimmer tool to help you hide the wires. The mount for the front camera. Some spare sticky things for the front camera. Next is the manual, which again is very thick and has probably virtually every language under the sun. Then at the bottom of the box there's another box, which is the rear camera assembly. The rear cable itself, which is nice and long, which is good. Quite a thick cable though, so you might cause a bit more problems trying to get it behind the trim in the car, but yeah, should be alright. And then the little rear camera itself. Rather small and sweet, which is what you want, because you don't want it to obscure your view while driving, and has a little sticky mount on the top. Then we have a little Vantrue branded cloth, which is rather nice. These pads, which electrostatic pads I think they're called, something like that, which are meant to make it easier for removing and taking off the camera. I personally don't use them, but you can if you like. Finally, we've got some stickers, again you can put inside, one in English and one in German. Good, that's everything that you get when you buy this camera. Let's set this dash cam up and see what it's like. The settings and everything you can do on this camera. So as you can see, when you first turn it on, it shows you the front here and the rear here, or you can then choose just to have the rear or the front depending on what you like. So most cameras you're going to have to turn. There we go. Now it's actually off. So the first one we got is record setup. So you got resolution, which can be 144p at 30 frames per second both. Loop recording. Then we've got G sensor, audio recording, exposure, the light where you want it on and off, WDR, rotate the display, which is quite useful if you will need to put the camera the other way around. The rear one, so the mirror. Put your number plate in, or if you want to, just any sort of watermark. Timestamps, what sort of stamps, what sort of stamps you want. So one thing I love about this camera and the elemental range is you can choose what you want and what you don't want. Then you got time lapse, parking mode, low light, vision, GPS settings. Back to the beginning. Got system settings. So these are the language, the Wi-Fi, the voice control, voice content. So a bit like the E1, it has the voice content, but it does have some extra ones. Unlike the E1, because it's got several cameras now, you can now tell it to show front, rear, or both, which is quite helpful if you want that. And like I said, I do love these voice activation, voice controls. They're so much easier than going through the settings. So these are how all the files are divided up. So you got the events one, the normal one's the photos, and then all files. So you also have this remote here, which has two buttons. You've got the turn the Wi-Fi, turn the audio on and off, like that. And then you've also got the save file button like that, and it also takes a photo. You can also do it, of course, using your voice, which I will demonstrate now. Lock the video. Take photo. Show front camera. Show rear camera. Show both cameras. I always find it's easier to use the app rather than settings on the camera. So in order to do that, you need to turn the Wi-Fi on. So turn on Wi-Fi. Like that. Now, because I'm recording with my phone, I can't actually show you the app, but you then settings of your phone, find that, and then put in that password. You then go into the Vantrue app, and it then just connects with it, and then you can then look at all your files that all change the settings. So let's actually have a look at this footage and see what it's like. Take a photo of what's happening. You can just...
Oh, that's clever. So I've got some lovely photos then.
Yeah.
You have to send them my way because I've got some superb. Shows you warming stuff.
And then every time you save a video, it also takes a photo as well, so you can find it more easily. So you know, just crunch that one.
That's good. Doesn't seem to be too busy, does it?
Yeah, it doesn't it?
Expensive.
It was cheap, but it's not anymore.
It was 171 at Morrison's.
Really? Oh, Morrison's has finally dropped.
Yeah, Texaco 303 is 161 we paid.
The video quality is very good, but the contrast is a little bit too much between light and dark. In the sunlight it's a bit overexposed, like this line on the left, VFO A129 for comparison. So you could change the exposure, but if you did that the shaded areas would be very dark, like in this clip with the tractor. The shaded areas are very dark compared with the VFO A129. However, a good thing is the rear camera is exactly the same resolution as the front camera, which is incredibly unusual, and hopefully it's things to come. The audio is a bit quiet, which again is very common for dashcams. However, it is clear, so you can't really complain. It's good enough for what you want it to do. So should you buy this dashcam? If you're looking for a Quad HD front and rear dashcam, you couldn't really go wrong with this. No, it's not perfect, but what is? It's very unusual to have Quad HD in front and the rear. Normally just the front camera is Quad HD and the rear is just HD. I think with a firmware update you could improve the contrast. It's a good size and does everything you'd like it to do. It's a bonus that it comes with a button automatically, and I love the voice controls. Also, with my code E2OFF-K9DS, you can get an extra £20 off this dashcam on Amazon UK. I personally think the Vantrue's Element 1 E1 is slightly better, but it's not a front and rear camera. Talking of which, if you are after just a front dashcam, why don't you check out my review of the Vantrue Elemental 1 E1, as I think it's one of the best dashcams.